of a better fantasy running back this year than Le'Veon Bell because I just think that he's a better guy out of the backfield than Le'Veon Bell, and I think he'll get a lot more carries than Bell does. So I will take David Johnson over Le'Veon Bell if I had the #1 pick in the draft. At quarterback, it's a tough call between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Tom Brady. I think he has more weapons out there in New England than Aaron Rodgers does in Green Bay, but I would not be shocked to see Aaron Rodgers be the #1 quarterback in fantasy this year, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Tom Brady in New England. Next is the wide receiver position. I'm going to give the slight edge to Antonio Brown over Odell Beckham because I just feel like Antonio Brown's on a better team right now in Pittsburgh. And I also think that he is going to have a much better year than Odell Beckham. And the only reason I could see Odell being the best fantasy wide receiver this year is if Antonio Brown goes down with injury or if Odell Beckham goes absolutely crazy this year, which I think he absolutely could. But I'm going to give the slight edge to Antonio Brown from the Steelers over Odell Beckham from the Giants. Now on to the kickers. I'm going to give the best kicker in fantasy this year to Matt Bryant of the Atlanta Falcons. I think he's going to have an absolutely phenomenal year. That Falcon offense is going to give him a lot of chances to kick field goals, and he did not miss a lot last year. And you can get him in the middle rounds, which is also a very good draft position for kickers because in my leagues, I do not draft kickers early. I wait until like round 7 or 8 to start looking at kickers, in my opinion. And then for team defenses, I think it's the Denver Broncos. A lot of people are high on the Minnesota Vikings this year, and I think they will be easily second. But I'm going to give the best defense in fantasy football this year to the Denver Broncos. I think the Broncos have a great defense, probably the best defense in the NFL. So I think that they will be the best defense in fantasy football this year. And now on to my SummerSlam weekend predictions. First, starting off tomorrow night, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. This is going to be a phenomenal show based on what I've seen the last couple of weeks on NXT television. First match on the card will be Aleister Black going against the now heel Hideo Itami. And I think Aleister Black will get the win here. Aleister has been looking very impressive the last couple of months ever since debuting back in Orlando back in April. So in the past 4 months, he has been looking very impressive. And I think that he will continue to impress the NXT universe as he gets a win over Hideo Itami in Brooklyn. Next up, Johnny Gargano going against Andrade Cien Almas. And I'm going to go with Johnny Gargano here. Johnny Gargano has been an absolutely phenomenal wrestler the past couple of years since he's gotten into NXT. And a lot of people have remembered him in the Indies when he was a top star in the independent scene as well. And also, I just cannot stand Andrade Cien Almas, so I will definitely be taking Johnny Gargano in this match. Johnny Wrestling will find a way to get the win over Andrade tomorrow night in Brooklyn. Next up for the NXT Tag Team Championships, as the Authors of Pain put their NXT Tag Team Championships on the line, going against Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf of Sanity. And I think that this is going to be a very nice match here. Sanity has been looking a little bit out of place the last couple of weeks. They've been looking to get some momentum going. And they have gotten some momentum, but I think it's going to be AOP retaining this Saturday in Brooklyn against the Sanity. And I think Sanity is a great tag team, and I think they could get called up to the main roster this Sunday at SummerSlam. But I think AOP is walking out of Brooklyn still your NXT Tag Team Champions. Next up for the NXT Women's Championship, a rematch from NXT TakeOver Orlando, as the current champion and undefeated Asuka puts her NXT Women's Championship on the line against Ember Moon. And I'm going to give the slight edge to Ember Moon in this match. Ember should have won the title back in Orlando. Because if you remember, Asuka pushed the referee into the ropes and pushed Ember off of the ropes And if she would have hit that finishing move, I think she would easily be NXT Women's Champion right now. So I will take Ember Moon to get the title that she rightfully deserves in Brooklyn, and she will become your new NXT Women's Champion and possibly send Asuka up to the main roster either this Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Next, for the NXT Championship, as the glorious champion Bobby Roode puts his title on the line against the undefeated Drew McIntyre. And I think this is going to be an absolutely phenomenal match. The last two main events that we've seen in Brooklyn have been absolutely incredible, with last year's Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura match absolutely blowing the house down last year in Brooklyn. So I'm going to take Bobby Roode to retain in Brooklyn. I think Bobby's been very impressive since winning the title back in San Antonio back in January. So for the past 8 months, he's been a very nice champion for NXT, and I think he will stay champion in Brooklyn as he beats Drew McIntyre for the NXT Championship and retains. Now on to my SummerSlam predictions for this Sunday. This is a really nice card, stacked card top to bottom. This should be an amazing, amazing, amazing pay-per-view. One of these 3 pay-per-views where SmackDown and Raw are together. So let's start with my predictions. First match on the card, the Hardy Boys will team up with Raw General Manager's son Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle, and they will be taking on The Miz and The Miztourage, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. So I'll be taking the Hardys and Jason Jordan. The Hardys and Jason Jordan have been looking very impressive as singles competitors the past couple of weeks. So I need to see if they can work together, and I think that they will, as the Hardys and Jason Jordan find a way to get the win on Sunday in Brooklyn at SummerSlam, and they beat The Miz and The Miztourage on Sunday. Next up for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, as the new champion Akira Tozawa, after winning the title last Monday night on Raw, as he will take on the former champion and king of the Cruiserweights, Neville. In this match, I think Akira Tozawa will retain. I just don't see them putting the title on Tozawa about 6 days before SummerSlam, and then making him lose the title back to Neville. So I think Tozawa will retain, and he will stay your WWE Cruiserweight Champion come Sunday at SummerSlam. Next up, the Demon, Finn Balor. Yes, we will see Demon King Finn Balor this Sunday at SummerSlam, as he will take on the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt got the win over Finn Balor last Monday night on Raw. So I think Finn Balor is going to come out for a little bit of revenge this Sunday at SummerSlam. So I think that Finn Balor will win the match and get the win over Bray Wyatt this Sunday at SummerSlam, and even the score between him and Bray Wyatt this Sunday at SummerSlam. Next up, Big Show going against Big Cass, with Enzo Amore suspended above the ring in a shark cage. I think Big Cass is going to win this match here. They're trying to push Big Cass into becoming a main event player ever since turning on Enzo Amore about a month or 2 ago. So I think Big Cass is going to find a way to get the win over Big Show this Sunday at SummerSlam, and Big Cass will continue his road to becoming a main eventer on Monday Night Raw. Next up for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, as the New Day puts their titles on the line against the Usos in another SummerSlam kickoff match. And I will be taking the New Day in this match. New Day just won the titles back at the last pay-per-view, so I will take the New Day to retain the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships against the former champions, the Usos, and the New Day will continue to roll on SmackDown Live as champions of the tag team division. Next up, Randy Orton will be going against Rusev. This should be a very good match. 2 very high-powered athletes right now on SmackDown Live. And a lot of people are thinking that Rusev is going to find a way to win this match. And I agree. I think Rusev will find a way to win this match and possibly give him a push to becoming either WWE SmackDown Live World Heavyweight Champion or United States Champion on SmackDown Live. So I think that Rusev will find a way to get a win over Randy Orton this Sunday at SummerSlam. Next up for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, as the current champion and Orlando native Naomi puts her title on the line against the third-generation superstar and diva, Natalya. This should be a very interesting match. I didn't even think Natalya would be here, so I will take Naomi to retain the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. But the big question in this match is, will Carmella cash in her SmackDown Live Women's Championship Money in the Bank contract after the match? And I don't think she will. I think she'll wait a little bit after what we saw last Tuesday with Baron Corbin cashing in and losing to Jinder Mahal. So I think that Carmella's going to hold on to it, and Naomi will retain and stay your SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Next up are the Raw Tag Team Championships. The current champions, Cesaro and Sheamus, will put their titles on the line against the newly formed team of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shield is back together, and I am so happy about it. I am so happy to see these two back together. These two deserve to be a tag team together, and I think this is going to be a phenomenal match. I'm going to take Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins to win the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. They have been a much better tag team the last couple of weeks, and I think that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will find a way to win the Raw Tag Team Championships this Sunday at SummerSlam. Next up for the United States Championship in a special guest referee match, it will be AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. And the special guest referee is SmackDown Live Commissioner Shane McMahon. And I think this is going to be a very good match. These guys have put on a show every single time they've wrestled each other. But the title's been going up. It's like a hot potato right now on SmackDown Live because nobody wants to keep it. But I'm going to take AJ Styles to retain and finally end this rivalry between him and Kevin Owens, because I do not like seeing these two as a rival, because these two are two of my favorite wrestlers in WWE right now. And I think that AJ Styles will retain the SmackDown Live United States Championship. Next up, John Cena going against Baron Corbin in a match that I think is going to be very good. I'm going to take Baron Corbin to win this match. I think after cashing in last Tuesday on SmackDown Live and losing to Jinder, I think Baron Corbin's going to be a little bit pissed off. So I'll take Baron Corbin to beat John Cena, and also because John Cena is heading over to Raw on Monday possibly. So I will take Baron Corbin to win and beat John Cena at SummerSlam. Next up for the WWE Championship, the SmackDown Live Championship, it will be the current champion, the modern-day Maharaja Jinder Mahal, putting his title on the line against the #1 contender, Shinsuke Nakamura. And I think that I really want Nakamura to win this match, but I think the WWE is going to keep the title on Jinder. So I will take Jinder Mahal to retain, just because I think that WWE wants to keep him as champion. And I just think that Jinder is going to find a way to walk out at SummerSlam still your WWE champion. Next up, the main event of SummerSlam for the Universal Championship, the Fatal 4-Way, which everybody has been waiting for, as the current champion, Brock Lesnar, puts his title on the line against Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe. I have mixed reactions in this match. I do not think that they're going to put the title on Roman. I hope they don't, because I just cannot stand Roman Reigns after him retiring The Undertaker back at WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar has been thinking about maybe going back to UFC, but I think that he will retain the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, and stay where he belongs, and that is in WWE. But I will not be shocked to see anybody winning the WWE Universal Championship this Sunday, because all four of these guys, I think, deserve to be champion. And I will see you guys. That is all for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a nice comment down below. And I will see you guys next week right here on Scott's Weekend Sports right here on YouTube. See you later, guys.